make a French apple tart. And here's what you'll need. For the pastry, 2 cups of flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of sugar, a glass of ice water, and a stick and a half of butter. For the apple topping, 4 Granny Smith apples, a half a cup of sugar, and a half a stick of butter. And for the glaze topping, apricot preserves, and a half sheet pan with parchment paper, a food processor, a cutting board, a pastry brush, a melon baller, a peeler, a sharp knife, a ruler, a rolling pin, plastic wrap, a small saucepan, a mixing bowl, and a strainer. I've put the flour, salt, and sugar into the food processor, and now I'm going to pulse it 3 or 4 times. That's mixed it up enough. Now I've cut the cold butter into small squares, and I'm going to put that into the food processor, sprinkling that around. Okay, we've got that in. I put the top on. And we're going to pulse this about 12 times. We'll do it more times, but until the butter becomes the size of small peas. Now it's time to add the cold water. We turn on the food processor and we slowly add the cold water. You'll notice that after we've added the water, it will become a ball. See, it's come together, and now it's time to turn it off. Now maybe you've noticed a theme. We've used cold butter and cold water, and we're also going to take it out of the food processor and put it on some plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. That's what's going to provide the good crust, flaky crust, when we do bake it. So now I'll take it out of the food processor. I'll put a little flour on the counter. Really, you don't have to work it too much here. Just take it out of the food processor. Knead it just a little bit into a ball. Put a little flour on the plastic. Put it in the plastic. Wrap it up. And put it in the refrigerator just like that for an hour. Now the pastry dough's been in the refrigerator for over an hour, and we're going to put a little flour on the counter and take it out of the plastic and get the rolling pin. Now it's cold and it's relatively hard, so which is good. And I'm going to put a little flour on the rolling pin, and then my goal is to roll it out to a 14 by 10 rectangle. Now I've rolled out the pastry dough into a 10 by 14 rectangle, and I'm going to put it on the rolling pin and transfer it to the half sheet like that. And now I'm going to put this in the refrigerator so it remains cold while I prepare the apples. Now I've peeled the apple, I've cut it pole to pole, and I've already sliced this one. I'm going to cut this off like this, and the bottom. And then I take the melon baller and get out the core, like that. And then I just cut this into 1/4 inch slices. Now the apples are all cut, and I've taken the pastry out of the refrigerator, and from corner to corner I'm going to take and lay the apples down like this all the way across to the other corner. and then I'll fill in the rest. Now I've finished putting the apples on the pastry. Now I'm going to take the sugar and sprinkle that on top of the apples. And when I get all done with that, then I'm going to add the butter, and then it's ready to go in the oven at 400 degrees. Now it's been in the oven for about 25 minutes, and we're actually going to flip it around so that it cooks more evenly. So I've turned it around, and it'll cook another about 25 minutes. Alright, the tart is still in the oven, but now we're going to prepare the apricot glaze that goes on top. So I've taken the apricot preserves, put it in the saucepan. I'm heating that up, and when that's warm or hot, I'm going to put it in the strainer, strain it through, and obviously it will retain the apricot pieces, and use what's strained through and brush that on top of the tart. Now it's been cooking for 50 or 55 minutes, and it's done. I'm going to take it out. And we'll let it cool before we apply the apricot sauce. Now the tart has cooled, and we're just going to spread the apricot sauce all over the entire tart and let that cool a little bit more, and then it's ready to enjoy.